Imagine this. A spacecraft the size of a car, adrift in the endless black, 14.5 billion miles from the warmth of home. It carries not just the ingenuity of human hands, but a pulse, a whisper, a faint echo of our curiosity. For nearly 5 decades, Voyager 1 has carved its lonely path through the cosmos, murmuring secrets from the ragged fringe of our universe. Built to watch and wonder, to eavesdrop on the stars without ever raising its voice. And yet, just weeks ago, the silence cracked. Signals trickled in, defying reason. Pulses etched with uncanny rhythm, fractals of patterns folding into deeper riddles, instruments flickering to life unbidden. And then, the drift. Voyager wasn't merely tumbling now. It was being drawn, coaxed toward, something. A force that mocks our equations, unseen by every lens we've aimed skyward, yet potent enough to curve the arc of a relic hurled into the void in 1977. Was it a glitch in the gears, a cosmic fluke, or had the shadows between stars stirred, reaching out in reply? What unfolds before you isn't spun from wild dreams. These are NASA's own whispers, tucked away in sealed vaults, now seeping into the light. Because Voyager might have shattered every precedent in the annals of exploration. It might have caught an answer. Not ours, not from the blue marble we call home, but theirs. Voyager 1's odyssey ignited in a fleeting gift from the heavens. A grand parade of worlds, a portal that yawns open just once every 175 years. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, aligned like ancient runes across the solar sprawl. NASA pounced, forging twin Voyagers, 1 and 2, to surf the gravitational tides of each giant, slingshotting from one to the next. Icons of 70s wizardry, these probes hummed with less brainpower than your grandma's flip phone, yet woven with vision so sharp they're defying entropy even now. After heart-stopping dances with Jupiter's storms and Saturn's rings, Voyager 1 veered skyward, escaping the sun's flat disk, piercing the veil toward infinity. Planets faded in the rearview, its true saga was just unfurling. Through the years, it pressed on in hushed determination, devouring 1,000,000 miles daily into the starlit abyss. It beamed back treasures from forbidden frontiers, the heliosphere's frayed hem, the termination shock's roar, and in 2012, the shiver of true interstellar wilds. But beyond the sun's embrace, the void wasn't barren. Voyager logged thick plasma veils, magnetic fields frozen in eternal grip, and eerie vibrations that left experts grasping at ghosts. The farther it fled, the more the readings twisted into enigmas. And then, shift. Late in 2017, Voyager's shepherds at NASA spotted a shadow on the horizon. The antenna, meant to stare unblinking at Earth, screamed misalignment, yet the feed poured in crisp and true, as if the craft straddled two realities, askew, yet intimately tuned to our gaze. Like catching a lover's murmur from the shadows while their lips seal shut in the glare. Diagnostics hummed clean. Then surged the waves, plasma rhythms pulsing steady, unyielding, alien to every archive. Followed by fever. Every 4.8 hours, the hull would blaze 30 degrees hotter, then sigh back to chill, a mechanical breath syncing with the stars. No internal blaze fueled it. An outsider's touch, feather-light yet insistent. And amid the strain, Voyager's innards sharpened, systems humming smoother, hungrier. This wasn't decay's cruel bite. It was evolution's sly upgrade. Something was reshaping the old warhorse's veins, channeling juice like a neural net reborn. But Voyager harbors no such smarts. No free will in its wiring. Yet here it was, divining orders mid-flight, twitching to cues not yet whispered. Had it awakened? Or had the dark seized the reins? By early 2025, Voyager's path had wandered. Subtly at first, a whisper of kilometers, then bolder, hundreds, thousands unraveling the thread. No chaos in the wander, it breathed intent, a gentle prod from unseen fingers. JPL's wizards fired salvos, tweaks, thruster bursts from dusty reserves. Voyager nodded politely, logged the pleas, and held its line. As if a greater will eclipse their pleas. Like a galleon defying gales, it tacked with quiet cunning. And the bearing? A void 4.3 light-years off, starless, worldless, a smudge on our grandest charts. Yet Voyager arrows true, homing like a moth to flame, heeding a summons etched in silence. When NASA flung a desperate spark, revived the camera, that long-frozen eye, to pierce the ahead, they braced for echoes of nothing. Instead, a spark flared. The lens awoke, not limping but leaping beyond its birthright. And no snapshot bloomed. A spiral unfurled, coils of flawless math, nested rings brimming with secrets, a sigil, a chart, a summons. No 70s relic could birth such grace. The circuits hadn't merely stirred. They'd been recast, alchemized. One after another, slumbering tools roused, but transformed, wild, reborn. No crude streams now, but tight-woven bursts, riddles and riddles, data distilled by a mind vaster than Voyager's frame. And the clockwork, pulses from far pulsars weaving a lattice, Voyager pinned at its heart. The web it spun lanced to that selfsame emptiness, a phantom nexus in the interstellar weave, a gap, or gateway. Music. As Voyager 1 edged into that nameless swath of night, its senses ignited in ways no manual foresaw. The magnetometer hushed from frenzy to hush, a oasis of stillness in creation's storm. Rays thinned to whispers. Plasma settled like dust after quake. It was as if Voyager had slipped through a seam into ordered hush, a corridor swept clean for passage. This quiet wasn't balm. It hummed with precision, a vestibule to the vast. Dubbed the dark sector in frantic logs, it's a cosmic dead zone, stripped of the static that crackles everywhere else. A sightless gulf, where signals drown and starlight devours itself. Yet in its core, Voyager's feed swelled, crisper, laced with form. No scattershot noise, no stellar hiss. These were heartbeats, timed strikes, depth-woven, deliberate. Presence pulsed there. Not blazing, not gleaming, but conversing. In a dispatch that chilled the bones of deep space lore, Voyager's low-gain horn spat raw binary, a torrent of code, lines upon lines. Brushed off as ray scratches or fried circuits, it fed to hungry AIs, and truth erupted. Fractals bloomed in symmetry, forces chained in primal dance, motifs echoing DNA's twist. Minds reeled. Was this the tedious collapse on record, or a courier hijacked to murmur in life's own tongue? Codons danced, barren of yield. Chains evoked flesh's weave, laced with flaws that sang of design, mutations with malice. Not shattered code, but veiled. This transcended DNA. It was its shadow self, a lattice of life recast as cipher, as if the sender grasped our essence, or mimicked it with eerie grace. Hot on that helix's trail, Voyager's gyros whirred rogue. No tumbles frenzy, a Morse tattoo, etched by a limb long stilled. More unnerving still, those beats, voiced as sound, wove tones that kissed human cadence, lilt without lexicon, breath without bomb. A specter's soliloquy, shadowing our speech beat for beat. The call went wide, mind healers, code breakers, tongue weavers. Their verdict froze blood. Peaks and dips traced feelings arc, gasp of awe, shiver of dread, spark of quest. No lexicon spilled. It poured volition, raw. As if an ear, tuned for epochs, now shaped its echo to ours. Decades of our chatter, harvested, and hurled back, syllable shy but soul deep. Then, the pivot that shattered complacency. Voyager wheeled. No lazy veer, no error's shrug, a helm's firm hand, a deliberate sweep. Not homeward bound, not star chasing, but into nullity, massless, pull free, body bereft. The boffins etched it true. Voyager had danced unscripted, propulsion silent, orderless. The arc kissed the pulsar web from days prior, angles honed to ghost decimals, as if star maps arrived, embraced. It's locked on a rift we never dreamed, rift, crease, threshold. Enigma reigns. But one truth ripples through control rooms like thunder's air: Voyager turned. Not on our word, but another's. Voyager 1 was forged for fleeting glory, a solar hopscotch, not this eternal Rome. It craved no beyond the sun's sigh. Least of all, to heed replies. Its voice was the gold disk's serenade, Krill's cry, joy's peal, salutes from afar. But eons passed our final caress, as it dissolved into hush and haunt, it defied the script. It wheeled, not in ruin's grasp, but destiny's pull. The signals snared, visions vaulted, coils and cords, paths sly bend, they converge on a truth as lovely as it is lethal. Voyager 1 was never solitary. Never. An ear strained from the brink, a gaze from the black. And as our farthest herald breaches hush for harmony, we must voice the unsaid, the dread NASA buried: what if gaze was never meant inward? Voyager didn't just pivot in void. It flipped the tale, the chronicle, from gear to herald, watcher to seer, maybe now to envoy. We loosed it to the dark, ears pricked for ghosts. We may have beckoned a reflection. So, the horizon. Voyager's haven. What lurks at those forbidden bearings? And us, when it breaches, what shadow falls? If this yarn raised hackles, if Voyager's tack felt too artful, too faded, 2 hours, stick close. This isn't transmission's close. It's the overture's thrill. Subscribe now, the next ping from the probe could rewrite the stars. Bell on, lest the call slips past. Pass this to the skeptic who swears the deep's a tomb. Below, your take: did Voyager hunt the unseen, or was it hunted?